movies for black girl nerds.
Heidi and Tim, if I can just tell you the mental gymnastics that went on trying to figure out what to wear. I mean, it is Heidi and Tim. Even though it's Zoom, I had to get myself together. So I
Well,
thought,
you
Heidi,
look
like, Heidi, let me
great.
go shiny.
Yeah,
Thank you
you
so
look
much.
lovely.
You look
Thank you
great.
so much. I appreciate that.
Is that a
Well,
print or a texture?
It's a
it's a
texture.
texture.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. And it was it spoke to me. Like some of the one designer in episode 1 said, I didn't choose the color chose me. It
Yeah.
was the same thing with the shirt. I was just kind of feeling the texture and
Yeah.
minimal accessories because of the texture.
You're absolutely right.
It's funny how we have that. No, there's just some things that sing to us and we just have to have it.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for your time. Season 3, welcome back. I love this show. It's been a regular appointment TV for me. And there's something that always strikes me every season and it makes me emotional is watching the reactions of the contestants at that first fashion show. It's so I know it's overwhelming for them, but even for the audience, I find myself getting a little teary watching them enjoy it. Heidi, now having trailblaze this lane for designers and watching this up and coming talent season after season, what is the emotion you feel when you get to see the very first fashion show with your new crew of designers?
Well, that's really when you get to meet their creativity for the first time. I mean, obviously, when we do the casting, we see the pieces that they make, but did they really make them? Or did someone else make them? You never really know until you actually then start. And then the proof is in the pudding, because they can't really take anything from anyone else, but they have themselves, they have their talent, they have their imagination. So for the very first time, we see from one specific assignment what they come up with. And yes, when a look turns the corner, I have moments where it's like, wow, this is taking my breath away. Like the first one here on Rodeo Drive, like this beautiful white cloud that came, how gorgeous was this dress? Have to have it, so there's moments like that I have too. And then there's some that walk the corner where I'm like, really? I know you can do better, or it seemed like you could, so sometimes there's that too. And then it takes them a minute also because it's different. All of a sudden they have like cameras from every angle and they're not used to that, or sometimes, we ask them a question and then we ask them the question again and again and again. It's also television as much as it is reality, but sometimes they're also not used to it. If you ask them something, when you've been in television for a long time, that you have to put the question into your answer because otherwise it just, people don't understand where is this all of a sudden coming from. So, it's like a learning curve. People have to get used to, in this new environment that we then are in. But, once they have their first show under their belt, the feet start running by themselves.
Mm-hmm. And the opening shot look was everything, Heidi. I mean, you're always fly, but the suit, it was just
thank you. And it
chef's kiss.
And it was so fun because I looked over Jeremy and he also was in silver from head to toe.
Beautiful,
And we did not plan that. So that was fun.
See, great minds, great minds. Tim, lastly for you, in an industry where there's so much stereotyping that everything is so harsh and so mean and it's so cruel, it's just been a marvel to watch you build your brand upon having a gentle touch, being encouraging, being celebratory, and not so negative. Why is it so important to you to maintain that identity and be that light for these up and coming designers and just it helps them find their way. It might not be for them, but that touch remains gentle for you. So why is that important?
Well, thank you. Those were very flattering and very generous words. I appreciate it. I learned as a teacher that if you're perceived as being harsh or inappropriately critical without trying to help, that people just shut you down and discredit you and don't listen to you. And my goal is to help, to assist. So I know that even some words that may seem to be something that the designer doesn't want to hear, it's important for the designer to hear it if the designer can do something about it. It's another belief of mine. If you can do something about it, I'll talk to you about it. If you can't, I'm not going to. It's a waste of everyone's time. But it's a very long acquired characteristics.
I'm not as good as that as Tim is. I sometimes am a little bit more blunt with my words. I sometimes feel like I voice also the feelings that a lot of people have maybe when they're watching at home. You know, sometimes I feel like you need to have some person that actually says it out loud, you know, because we've had moments where, you know, the designers have done things, I mean, not so much on making the cut, but, you know, where it's like, oh my God, this looks like a cat ripped it up and then it went in the washing machine and it came out like that. And people at home go, exactly, it looks just like that. So I feel like sometimes you have to voice that too, you know, I guess those are also then mean things, but it just sometimes actually looks like that too. So I feel like there needs to be that person that points it out. So
Well,
sometimes
also,
I'm that
Heidi,
person.
in your case, the work is finished. So it's done, it's complete. And in my case, it's still in progress. It's still
Yeah.
happening. So
Yeah.
things can potentially change.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the workroom too where I've tried things on and I'm like, I can't even get in it. How are you supposed to, do you remember those moments where I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I'm like, I'm like, what is this hole here? How is a head supposed to go in there? They're like, it can go through there. I'm like, really? So let's have a look. And I try and I'm like, see, I can't even get my head through it.
Well, I thank you. You guys have tremendous fans in this household. And it was an honor to talk to both of you. Have a marvelous season.
Thank you
Auf
so much.
Wiedersehen, auf der Liebe Gold, ich bin gefallen, and all that good German stuff.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much, you
Jeandra.
guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.